Every single week, I sit down and pick apart hundreds of upcoming Steam pages so you don't have to. And this week, I was after one thing: indie games launching in the next few days that actually deserve your attention. What you're about to see is my shortlist, the releases that genuinely stood out to me across a whole spread of genres. So let's get straight into the picks. 1. Dead Weight. Picture a pirate ship that doesn't sail the sea, it sails the sky. Dead Weight drops you into a steampunk world where you set the sails of a flying pirate ship and go hunting across floating islands for loot. It's a roguelite at its core, so every run reshuffles what you find, and the combat is turn based and tactical, played out on these tiny battlefields where honestly every single step matters. You pick a class, you commit to a playstyle, and you learn to read the board like a puzzle before you commit to a move. What pulled me in is that blend of cozy sky pirate fantasy and genuinely thoughtful tactics, the kind of thing you can lose an evening to without noticing. And you're facing down ancient gods, so the stakes climb fast. If you like tactics with a real sense of adventure baked in, this one earned its spot on my list. 2. Wabisabi SushiDerby. Okay, this next one made me laugh out loud the moment I read the pitch. Wabisabi SushiDerby is a game where you race sushi. Actual sushi, running at full speed. You play as a sushi chef, you craft your own unique toppings, and then you train those little pieces of sushi and enter them into races. Yes, you cheer them on from the sidelines like a proud parent. The whole goal is to win the prestigious S1 Cup championship and rise up to become a top tier chef. It blends that training and management loop with casual racing, so there's actual progression sitting underneath all the silliness. I cannot fully explain why the idea of coaching a piece of nigiri to victory delights me this much, but here we are. If you want something bright, absurd, and completely its own thing, put this one on your radar. 3. Moss, the Forgotten Relic. Let's slow the pace right down for a moment. Moss, the Forgotten Relic is an emotional, atmospheric adventure set inside the pages of a living storybook. And that framing alone gives it such a warm, handmade feel. The world is brimming with myth and ancient magic, and you guide a tiny but determined little hero through a journey built around challenge, courage, and connection. It leans into that action adventure rhythm while keeping the heart front and center. So it's as much about the feeling as it is the platforming. There's something quietly lovely about a hero this small taking on a world this big. I keep coming back to that storybook idea, the sense that you're literally turning pages as you play. If you've got room in your library for something gentle and heartfelt with a bit of real adventure in its bones, this is an easy one to wishlist. 4. Fogpiercer. Now for something that speaks directly to my deck builder brain. Fogpiercer is a sci-fi roguelite deck builder where you fight your way through the fog. And the twist is that it's not just about which cards you draw, it's about where everything stands. Clever positioning matters, explosive chain reactions matter, and the environment itself can be the difference between life and death on any given turn. That focus on the whole battlefield, not just your hand, is what sets it apart from the usual deck builder crowd for me. I love a game that makes you think two steps ahead and then rewards you for setting up one perfect chain. The roguelike structure means you're always rebuilding, always adapting, always chasing that one run where everything just clicks into place. If you like your card games with a spatial puzzle stapled right on top, Fogpiercer is worth a serious look. 5. Heave Ho 2. Get a grip because Heave Ho 2 is here and it looks like glorious chaos. This is the sequel to that insane 2 to 4 player party game where you're basically a pair of hands trying desperately not to fall into the void. You grab what you can, you swing, and you try to win, usually while screaming at your friends. The huge new thing this time is that the couch co-op mayhem finally goes online. So you don't need everyone crammed onto one sofa to fall apart laughing together. It's simple to pick up and instantly ridiculous. The perfect kind of game for a group that loves to sabotage each other by accident. I can already hear the day. Arguments this is going to cause. If you want a party game that turns any night into a mess of flailing limbs and cheering, this is a lock. 6. Cozy Grove Camp Spirit. Time to breathe out for a bit. Cozy Grove Camp Spirit is the relaxing sequel to the beloved life sim Cozy Grove, and its whole heart is right there in one line. All those who are lost deserve kindness. You're here to help cute, ghostly little bears find peace, and in return, you get this gentle loop of new crafting, building, and camping island adventures. Kindness literally rules this world, which is such a soft, welcome thing to sit inside after a long day. There's fresh stuff to make, places to build up, and a whole island to slowly turn into something that feels like yours. I find these games genuinely restorative, the kind you play a little of each night just to unwind. If you want something warm and low stakes that still gives you plenty to potter away at, wishlist this one and thank yourself later. 7. Reign of Awakening. Alright, hands off the cozy blanket because this one wants your reflexes. Reign of Awakening is an action game about dashing and slashing your way out of Lovecraftian horrors, and it's built entirely on momentum based movement. That means you're chaining dashes to reach places that look flat out impossible, keeping your speed alive as you tear through each fight. You collect upgrades as you go and gradually shape your own fighting style, so no two players end up moving quite the same way. What grabs me is that push and pull between grace and dread, fluid, fast traversal set against a world that's already doomed. The game even asks it straight. Can you save what's left, or is it already too late? That kind of hopeless stakes usually means the combat has to carry, and this looks like it can. If you like fast, expressive action with a dark edge, keep an eye on this. 8. Silan, Monster Girl Master. Here's one with a genuinely wild backstory. Silan, Monster Girl Master is a Souls-like inspired Monster Girl Collection RPG that a solo developer built over 2 years, which alone earns some respect. The core is collection. You recruit and strengthen a roster of more than 60 monster girls, each with their own unique skills and attributes. From there, you explore a whole spread of environments forests, deserts, volcanoes, and more, with combat that draws inspiration from Rant's X. So you've got that satisfying mix of building a deep team and pushing through tougher and tougher challenges. I always find solo passion projects fascinating because the vision tends to be so specific and personal, and 60 plus characters is no small ambition. There's a demo available right now so you can actually try it before you commit. If a big collection RPG with real character variety appeals to you, go give that demo a spin. 9. MOLDRISE. This next one is deliciously strange, and I mean that as the highest compliment. MOLDRISE opens with a line that stuck with me. It started in your foot, now it's in your head, and all that remains is a single command: go up. That's the whole pull. You climb. Along the way, you meet strange neighbors, you make bad trades, and every single ascent quietly teaches you what you should have done differently. It has that cryptic, unsettling personality where you're never entirely sure what you're getting into, and I kind of love that. The RPG framing plus that eerie sense of learning through repeated attempts gives it a real hook. I honestly cannot tell you exactly what this game is, and I suspect that's precisely the point. If you're drawn to weird, atmospheric indie experiments that run on their own strange logic, this one deserves a spot on your list. 10. Funnel Runners. Now crank the tension all the way up. Funnel Runners traps you and up to 7 friends inside a doomed city, and there's a brutal tornado closing in on all of you. Your job is frantic and simple to describe: scavenge parts, fix up your van, and escape before the storm hits. It's a first person co op survival game built around escalating disasters and total environmental destruction, so the world is quite literally coming apart around you while you work. 8 players scrambling to repair one van as the sky tries to kill them. That's a recipe for pure panicked fun. I can already picture the chaos of someone wandering off for one more part just as the funnel closes in. This one is in early access, so expect it to grow, but the core hook is a blast. If co op disaster survival sounds like your kind of night, round up the crew. 11. Hell Maiden. Let's go somewhere warmer. Much, much warmer. Hell Maiden sends you down through the depths of hell to beat its toughest demons on your way up to heaven. And it's a horde survival deck building game inspired by Dante's Divine Comedy. So you get that satisfying pairing of enemy waves crashing in and a deck you're steadily sharpening to cut straight through them. The literary backbone gives it a bit of weight too, this idea of clawing your way through the inferno one step at a time towards something better. I'm a total sucker for horde survival games where the numbers start small and end up absolutely absurd, and stacking a deck on top of that only sweetens the deal. It's launching in early access, so it'll keep evolving, but the concept is strong right out of the gate. If you like your survival runs with a card game bolted on, this one earns a wish list. 12. Cheat Death. This one had me the second I read the premise. In Cheat Death, you sit down to play dice poker with the Grim Reaper himself, and it's a dark, strategic roguelite about doing whatever it takes to survive. You build powerful poker hands out of cursed dice, stack up upgrades, and then rig the odds any way you can. Sabotage death, bend the rules, and claw through deadly minigames with your life quite literally on the line. That framing is just so good. A tense game of chance against the one opponent you can never fully beat. What I love is that it isn't just luck. There's real strategy in how you stack and manipulate everything in your favor. Every run becomes this little negotiation with your own mortality. If you enjoy roguelites with a killer hook and a wicked sense of theme, Cheat Death is absolutely worth a look. 13. Cult of Shadows. Back into the dark for this one. Cult of Shadows is an action RPG about uncovering the secrets of a place called Bel Noah, where you fight through hordes of cultists and the mythos they summon. You take down fearsome beasts, upgrade your character, and acquire and enchant weapons to steadily grow stronger. And here's the loop that gives it real teeth: you die, and you return stronger to face the Cult of Shadows all over again. That cycle of falling and coming back sharper is such a satisfying spine for a game like this. I like the gothic occult flavor here, the sense of peeling back a mystery while the enemies keep escalating around you. There's genuine progression to chase, both in your gear and in your own skill at reading the fight. If you want a moody action RPG with a grind you can actually feel yourself conquering, add this to the pile. 14. Neko Michi. Time for something that just made me smile. Neko Michi lets you build and manage a cozy Meiji-era street, except the whole community you're building it for is cats. You customize buildings, you balance tradition against creeping modernity, and slowly you shape a peaceful little cat community that genuinely feels alive. It's a simulation at its core, but a soft, unhurried one, far more about atmosphere and charm than pressure or numbers. There's something so specific and lovely about that setting: old Japan, gentle streets, and cats simply living their best lives. I can absolutely see myself just fussing over building layouts and watching the little residents wander around for hours on end. If you're after a calm, characterful management sim with a strong sense of place and, crucially, a whole lot of cats, Neko Michi is a very easy one to wishlist. 15. Welcome to the game 3. And to close things out, let's turn off the lights. Welcome to the Game 3 is a strategic, suspenseful horror game that sends you into the internet's darknet, hunting for pieces of a puzzle that, once combined, will finally clear your outstanding debt. You scan strange websites for information, you hack into other PCs while frantically defending your own, and you buy and sell goods and services, all while trying to avoid the threats lurking out there. It's that very specific brand of dread where the horror isn't a monster in a hallway. It's the creeping feeling that something is watching you back through the screen. The tension of digging through places you know you shouldn't be is the whole appeal. I don't think I could play this one comfortably at night. If you like horror that gets under your skin through atmosphere and paranoia, this is a chilling note to end on. That's my shortlist for the week. If any of these grabbed you, do that future you a favor and toss them on your wish list so you don't forget when they drop. And if you want me to keep sorting through the noise every week and handing you only the ones worth your time, subscribe and stick around. See you in the next one.